Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring in our top right-hand side RA, I believe that's a money sign, Schizo. Schizo is our red Terran, and his opponent in the bottom left is NoN's forsakeNXE, our blue Terran. Both players are in very high masters, I believe at minimum top 15 masters on their server, so it's going to be a fantastic game. We've got Neo Planet S. It's a good map. A good map, too. Kind of favors the two-base play, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, it's Terran versus Terran, so you can definitely get away with hidden expansions. And if there's any race that's capable of defending a third base that's far away by ground, it's going to be Protoss, probably. Just because you can kind of aggressively position your Colossus. But Terran's a close second just because of those medevacs being able to boot and scoot their Marines all over the place. And then if you've got a meching player, if they're siege tank line or something like that, regardless, it's difficult to take and hold that third for both players. A super, super early SCV coming out from Schizo. I don't know if that's going to be a very aggressive scout. Even if it is, I don't know what he would expect to see. There's really nothing to see in the first minute 30 seconds. Okay, he's going to be throwing down a proxy barracks, which is neat. It could definitely, I mean, this is the ladder. This is what happens on the ladder every single time, which is why it's so cool watching the WCS and realizing that, you know, these people like the Muslim who absolutely excel on the ladder are having a hard time on it because of these best of threes, where this right here is something that can totally help you out in a best of three. It's you cheese a little bit, you do an all in, super aggressive, and people who know how to respond appropriately to that tend to excel in those tournament settings, and then people who don't, who are used to playing standard, used to playing blind against their opponent, expecting them to do the more meta thing, they fail miserably. And it's, you know, no lack of skill on those players' fault. It's just what is he doing? He's getting the tech lab. That'd be the only time I've ever seen this be successful. And by the way, the SCV coming out from forsakeNXE is going to be doing a scout. Comes in, sees the refinery, sees that he's got at least 50 gas harvested. No barracks right here. This would instantly tell me that he's going to be dealing with a proxy Reaper harass. And then we have a tech lab going down. And the only thing I can expect from that is coming out of Marauders. But why? Why would you get Marauders? It's going to be helpful against something armored. But the only thing that is going to be armored coming out of Terran is going to be, you know, Marauders itself. It's weird. Concussion Cell also being started. I have seen this, and it was incredibly popular at the very end of Wings of Liberty. It was a Protoss harassment technique. Terran would come out, throw down a barracks with a tech lab on it, and the Marauders that would come out rarely won you the game, but they were so cost effective against Stalkers that it would really stunt the Protoss's ability to be aggressive early on, and it would make it so that the Terran could actually double expand behind it. Really neat build, kind of gone on the wayside now that the Mothership Core has come out, but it's the only thing I've ever seen like this. We have the first Marauder out. The concussion cell was finished. Yeah, it was finished already. Two Marauders poking up at the front, but Forsaken, seeing that there was no barracks back there, failing to scout it right now. He's pretty much checked everywhere else. His SCV is going to be heading off to the bottom right-hand side. Has two bunkers up on the high ground, one of which is almost fully saturated. It's going to be fully saturated in a second. Is even getting another command center, which is really ballsy, just because he has absolutely no idea what he's going to be up against. Has scouted the barracks, has not scouted the tech lab, but he did see the Marauder that was chasing him, so he knows exactly what's going on. And a proxy factory going up on the low ground in the middle of the natural. Schizo, what are you doing? What are you doing? So he's got a factory down there. He's got double gas for Forsaken up top, poking up with the Marauders, but really with double barracks, a third barracks bunker going up on the just the north side of that. Maybe that's not going to be within range of the factory, but it's definitely going to be with range of anything that decides to walk through this crevice right here. Get a couple of pot shots out there. Engineering blade block, it's a clever idea, especially if Schizo was deciding on taking some sort of expansion, but this is as all in as you can possibly get. He's got double refineries up, one of which was saturated by two harvesters, and the other one just totally empty. Tech lab going down on the factory, yeah, that's totally the expected thing, I guess, is if you're going to need to break this contain, you definitely need siege tanks, but he's also going to need scouting. Okay, scouting up on the high ground is going to be provided by the barracks, which I guess he's done with the Marauders for the time being. Oh, a little bit of a misplacement. Oh, the aggro on the Marauders, you're almost getting cut down, but no. Forsaken deciding that it was probably not a good idea to clean out his bunker and shove his Marines down there to try to get that last kill. What does he know that is actually down there? He has no idea about the factory, and now that he sees a siege tank, he still might suspect that there's a factory hidden somewhere, but no way in my wildest dreams would I expect there to be a factory in my natural if this happened. This siege tank is not being directed to target down. Okay, now he finally did, but yeah, he definitely wants to prioritize the SCVs on this. Are those SCVs just barely outside of range? It looks like this bunker is going to stay out for the time being, but this is really going to be just the beginning of battering down. In fact, it would probably be wise to reposition that siege tank just a little to the right so he can actually focus down those SCVs, taking them down. Speaking of SCV trying to shove his way down the supply depots up on the high ground. Back in Schizo's base, he's got a command center and a starport being built. This is wild. This is absolutely schizophrenic coming out of Schizo right now. Crazy. And what can Forsaken do? He needs stem if he's ever going to break it, and he's got that on the way. He definitely needs a starport so they can drop on top of these. But in reality, you just get a starport, you drop your Marines right here, and you just send them off on a suicide mission back at home. 2 siege tanks and a handful of Marauders begin to shell this down. In all honesty, I think Forsaken's going to have to sack this wall just for the time being. Maybe just retreat. Keep his Marines up so once his tech is up, he'll actually have a fighting chance at breaking that siege tank contain. However, the starport with the reactor, is he going to be getting out Medivacs maybe for a drop, or he could be getting out a Viking? Oh, he's got a Viking already. Viking already is going to be going head hunting for any Medivacs. However, the Medivac production has only just now begun. 3 siege tanks up on the low ground right now, only 2 of which are siege. But once that third one starts going, I don't even know if this number of SCVs is going. It just blows my mind that he's not prioritizing these SCVs. What he wants to do is just target down those SCVs, take them all down, and then he can take down that bunker in like 2 volleys. Pardon me, I had some jambalaya for dinner. It was absolutely fantastic, but I'm paying for it right now. It is delicious. The command center up on the high ground. Oh, pot shot from the Viking. The Viking's really just there to provide not only air superiority against those medevacs, but also supplemental scouting. Once that barracks goes down, you can see how close it has to get in order for those siege tanks to actually scout the high ground. And while it is within range, it's slowly going to be burning down. There's a single SCV probably going to be managing to keep it up just for the time being. The little medevacs shuttling off a strike force on the right side. What is there to defend back at home? Absolutely nothing. He's got double command centers up, but he doesn't even have barracks back at home. He is producing a factory, maybe get out a widow mine so that he can actually support this. Will these Vikings spot it? Oh yes, one Viking just barely within range, finally seeing the strike force. However, he's got to be very, very careful because those Marines with a quick stem could definitely cut it down. Here comes the stem, going to be focusing down the orbital command that's not going to be able to land back at home. It looks like the unload from the barracks. However, the bunker was super saturated by the SCVs on the right side, so these guys were exposed to some fire on the left side as they had to boot scoot around the barracks. This barracks is going to have to lift off, but with the Vikings in the air, going to be taking a handful of pot shots. One Viking lands and is immediately cut down. A widow mine aggressively positioning up on the high ground. It burrows and takes out the SCV. There goes the scan. He's going to be cleaned up. Just an SCV per widow mine. Best case scenario there for Forsaken. Forsaken with that engineering bay. Oh man. So he succeeded in taking down that orbital command. That did indeed go down. There's 2 orbitals left, both of which are going to be lifting off, and I guess he double-clicked it. Nice. Double-clicked it. The siege tanks are now up on the high ground, and it looks like the natural orbital command is going to be transitioning over to the bottom right-hand side. Maybe he's going to be making his way over to the third. Oh, no. Forsaken losing a healthy chunk of his ground forces. However, 72 supply over 27, and it's because these Marines are in here and have absolutely massacred all the SCVs that were there. Are there any SCVs? 2 SCVs on the field right now for Schizo, but these siege tanks, this tech superiority, is really going to be making it so that Forsaken can't engage this directly. He's only got a handful of Marines, handful of Marauders, and that is not enough to break the containment afforded by 4 siege tanks. Here comes the Marauders pushing forward. Will they succeed in getting 1 siege tank? No, not even that. Oh my goodness, Forsaken's rapidly crumbling at home on the infrastructure. However, there's really no infrastructure to speak of to Schizo. That's because the majority of his base is actually back here in his opponent's natural. He's even building a command center there. What's going on? Now, the worst thing about this is Forsaken's probably going to be losing every single one of his SCVs when he eventually sacks his entire base. And that sucks, because that's really the only major advantage that he has going for him right now. These siege tanks are continuing to shell down damage, finally reaching the mineral line. Forsaken's going to clean up everything in his opponent's base, but really I think he just needs to turn around and try to save as much as possible. Only 2 Marines. He would definitely boost in with his medevacs and land all the units on top of the siege tank line, probably clean it up. But with a Widow Mine there, those Marines will be short-lived if that. Oh, what is he transitioning with? Okay, yeah, some SCVs. Great. So he's going to be saving a healthy chunk of his economy. He's probably going to be working those medevacs overtime. Got to save both of those siege tanks, even though they really are the last bastion for this base. Both of these factory and command centers are really taking a massive amount of damage. Finally, everything in Schizo's main base has been cleaned up, but his orbital command is retransitioned over to the 3rd location and is going to be hiding some SCVs over there. He doesn't have enough money to build another command center, but he's got a second one on the way. He's just now finishing. 2 barracks are going to be finishing on the most southern portion of Forsaken, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a mass exodus taking place very, very soon. 1 single medevac is all that remains right now, which is really, really bad because it looks like 1 siege tank is going to be going down, the other one succeeding in transitioning to the right side. Oh, there's 3 medevacs. Oh, that's right, there's 2 over with the main strike force. The orbital command is going to be leaving, but as it's already in the red, will it survive to get over to the right side? I don't think it will. Those 2 Vikings just doing too much damage, and you really don't want to waste a mule on something that's probably not going to survive the gap anyway. Out of all 3 of these barracks, I don't know how many of them are going to survive. Depends on where those Vikings go. Here comes the strike force pushing in, taking out 2 Hellions immediately. Will it be doing enough damage to bring down the orbital command? It is so vital that Schizo does not have an economy at all if Forsaken wants to stay in this, because those siege tanks, or if they make it to a standstill, are totally going to win against this number of Marines. Single Marine goads the Widow Mine into wasting its shot. Oh wow, no, didn't even get a kill for that. I wonder what it shot. Oh, maybe the siege tank got the kill first. That's probably what happened. Oh man, those Vikings just picking off pretty much everything in the air. How many medevacs are we on now? Just 2. 2 medevacs to 4 Vikings. Oh, no, to 2 Vikings, but 4 siege tanks. This is bad. The mass exodus goes. 1 barracks remaining staunchly behind. Oh, but a healthy plethora of Marines. You know, if this pincer attack happened, I really don't know which way it would come out on top. That Widow Mine had been expunged, but no, his cooldown is finished. The orbital command, the 2nd orbital command, has been spotted, and it looks like it's going to go down, even though it's just a single Marine for the time being. 3 more arrive on scene. Oof. It's actually going to be close before it gets over here, but I doubt sincerely that Forsaken's going to let it go up. Nice hiding of the barracks over in the bottom left-hand side. Both players are kind of at a standstill right now, but that's excellent for Forsaken because Forsaken's not supply blocked. He's got an economy up. He's got a lot of his SCVs that he saved because of the medevac. Oh, and you know what? This is not... Oh, it is burning down. It is burning down, but it's got enough energy to throw it on a mule, so if these Marines do not move over... you know what? I think Forsaken might just assume that orbital command went down and move them off. We'll see if he tries to meet up with the rest of the group. A clutch scan from Forsaken. If he had kept his Marines there for just a single second longer, they would have been cut down rather viciously by those siege tanks. Oh, man. 2 of the siege tanks are sieged and managed to cut them down. Yeah, the orbital command goes unscouted, and with 300 hit points left and 90 energy, he's going to be able to call down a hail of mules and actually heal up itself. So Schizo's not 100% out of this yet. He's definitely behind, but with some clever positioning of his siege tanks, he can definitely make this work for him. The strike force going to work on the barracks is going to be going to work on that factory, but gotta be careful. These siege tanks are within range to shell down some fire. Oh my goodness, losing a handful of the precious Marines. Some infrastructure up on the high ground, the bunker getting really far into the red, but immediately surrounded by the SCVs. And this is what I'm talking about. Schizo, target the SCVs. Oh my goodness, just target the SCVs, you lazy bastard. You have 5 units to control. You can afford the APM to actually kill the SCVs rather than shelling down shot after shot. Finally! Oh my goodness, I was going to have an aneurysm. It's not hard. Does he not scout them? Yeah, he wasn't scouting any of the ones on the right side, but he could see the ones on the left. I'm on to you, Schizo. I'm on to you. He is shelling down the last bunker. It looks like Forsaken's going to let that one go down, but with a single siege tank there, is that going to be enough to hold these units in at bay? The Viking is doing an excellent job scouting the high ground, and with that scouting there's really not a lot that the Forsaken can do in order to put pressure. Here comes the mass stem, leading with his SCVs, cutting down the siege tanks. Perfect. Leading with the SCVs to kind of soak up all that energy. Schizo has just a single base left on the right side. Maybe the worst build order I ever had. I concur. This is absolutely insane. Why would you do this? Why would you think that this is a good idea? The Marauders did absolutely nothing that were proxied right here. And the factory with the siege tanks, that worked surprisingly well. Really just shelling out of stuff until you realized that there was nothing to defend the base and that Forsaken just 1-8 into the SCV line. I think the best part about it was the medevacing out the SCVs like it was a real exodus over here, and then just rebuilding that. Forsaken really just showing how calm and collected he can be against that. But I have no idea what this build was supposed to accomplish. It was great. You guys are great. Thanks for watching my video. I recently cleared 10,000 views, which is 2 thumbs up, even though I don't have my camera on. So thanks for that. If you have a game you want me to cast, you could PM me here or on Reddit. One way or another, I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary. Bye.